Thank you, Pat, for sitting down with me.
No,
Native
appreciate
Voices for Energy. And I'm Jill, Battery Tribal member, Native Voices for Energy coalition, part of, and wanted to know if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Yes, thank you for inviting me. Pat Nemec, Battery Tribal member, born and raised in Nashville, so I'm familiar with all the ordeals on Northern Tribe. Started a construction business 4 years ago. Prior to that, I was in a family business on insurance for 30 years.
And what's your construction business name?
Oh, yeah, I should do that. My construction business name is LK1 Services.
Yeah, 4 years ago you said?
Yep.
Okay.
Right now we are doing work on Line 5. We are putting in self fence, doing a lot of hauling of dirt and gravel, replacing it. Michael's speaks right now for some of the access roads. Starting Monday, we're gonna have a crew start loading up sandbags.
So with that timeline, I wanted to see if you would like to share some background on how you became open-minded and or positively influenced or how you support Enbridge as both the energy transfer company and pipeline.
Most everything in my life, I'm always open and open-minded about it. And I have a downfall. I always play devil's advocate. Well, on this situation, there was no downside. I mean, if the option was leave the pipeline where it is, or reroute, or shut it down completely. Okay, I would go down to shut down just for a reason. What if it would have a crack or something, something bad happened. But that's not realistic. It's never ever going to be an option. And I really, down to this, they really feel that is going to happen or was going to happen. And when they won, I've been open to it. And I thought the tribe was smart. They'd leave it as is. By moving it, I believe they lose what little power they have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a long journey as far as the trespassing issue and it being a lawsuit brought to Enbridge against the Battery Tribal Council. But I feel like it was just not made known enough to the tribal people.
Not till yet. Good, bad, or different, our new chairperson, Liz, at least had 3 meetings since she got elected in November, letting people know what has gone on prior, what is going on. And that, kudos for her, but a little too late to do it. It should have been something that we as members should have known. For some reason, they wanted to keep it hush hush. I have no understanding why.
Yeah.
And another thing, I don't know why they've not been after the other companies that are running natural gas or other products through the reservation. Those have expired. This is only a fraction, and they're just lying on the reservation that you're arguing about. Mm-hmm. There's another one, I think the next one's not up for another 7 years.
I'm glad you're talking about that because I was actually going to ask you if you have any thoughts on the other pipeline or lines that, most likely are the same exact route. It's my understanding they're just yards apart from each other.
There is one company that I believe they've never come on public, but I believe they're going to piggyback off them. They're going to follow them to reroute their pipe. And if they do, it is going to cost a tribal member tens of thousands of dollars to get that product to their house. Because it's like you buy any property out of the country, there's not a power line that you pay for what the existing power line is to your house. Well, this product, let's say, just for instance, natural gas, it's 2 miles away, you're paying that, like $15 and $22 a foot. A lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, I do understand concern about some accidents and things that have happened, and it's my understanding the 2010, I believe, spill in the Kalamazoo River, with a humongous blemish and black mark on the company. But one thing I don't know if a lot of opposition understands is there was some changeover in the company at the time. They really didn't have a lot of tribal relations, but so many things came out of that as
It was actually a blessing. It was a blessing for that town, then the river. Prior to that, I went and visited last year, and the locals said it was a dump. People were throwing hard parts, cars, tires, and oil, heavy. You didn't even want to swim in there, let alone try fishing. Well, there I'm going, it was a spill, it was just, in my mind, okay, it's a small spill. And all of a sudden I see hundreds of acres at it. I go to the river, I can see the fish. And I'm like, okay, this is bad. But at least Enbridge said, we made a, we made a boo-boo.
Yeah.
But we're gonna fix it. But we're gonna fix it so it's good for everybody in the community, not just any other company I would probably just fix that little problem that they had. Due to this happened, it was a blessing in disguise because now when it's there, people were kayaking, fishing, swimming, just beautiful place.
Yeah, it's my understanding that, like you said, the company took acknowledgement, ownership, and did restoration, restitution, and said they would not leave until it was better than before the release. So it's interesting how just having that experience, the company being so willing to invite people and saying, come look and listen to our story. We are an energy transfer company. This was an accident. Of course, they didn't want to do it on purpose, but like you said, so many things that came out of it. Listening to the tribes.
But you did it right. An accident. Was it on purpose? Was it deliberate?
Yeah.
It was an accident.
But the acknowledgement and like I keep going back to the restoration and restitution. So I've talked to community members down there on a couple tours and trips I've been able to go down, and they enjoy it. It's more pristine. Just looking at all of it. Not only do you see the clear water, you see the fish, the ajijak, the wildlife, the birds. They're coming back around here as well, and it's just amazing to see that they really stood behind what they said.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's in the past, and it's a long enough time to see.
But this pipe, like 70 plus years, 73, I think, or something like that. Not an accident. Not that it could still be an accident. But your three options are pipeline, trucking, or boat.
Yeah.
Well, you have more plane accidents than you do pipeline problems. And if our tribe was successful on shutting down this line, what are they going to do? Come about, trucking. Or if they had shipping, it was never ending. And this was the safest way to go.
Right. Yeah, it's been a long time from the start of the lawsuit. It did bring a lot of controversy and division in the tribe and the local people around, but it also gave us an opportunity to just educate ourselves. And Enbridge just had their information Tuesdays for over a year or so, and bringing in experts, answering questions, being held accountable.
Inviting people to come, like you said, come to Michigan and check it out. Come check out terminal up in Superior.
Yeah.
They're not hiding anything. They've been open book.
They are.
So if you're against it, you have every option to go see. Are they lying to you or not?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't believe a lot of them took them up on it.
Right. And then the other thing I think that's not been unclear enough or talked about enough is that they're an energy transportation company and they're not against going into solar. I mean, they are expanding into renewables and just the different things that they do. It's not all
Solar,
about
wind, yeah, it's just not about oil and gas.
right. And they do look into, you know, they have these 50-year terms and that kind of thing, but they study and they look into it and have gone into a lot of investment, which other petroleum or different companies, they see where you make the most money and it's not when you go into the solar, is my
Or the
understanding.
wind, yeah.
So, they do care about the environment, I do see that, and, it's not just a talking point.
Mhm.
I feel like, you know, being invited to see the solar tour, or the solar power plants that they do have locally in Wisconsin, and, you know, they're everywhere. I just don't know if it's talked about enough.
You know, here we got the opposition worried about something that might happen to the pipe. But there's more horror stories about wind farms killing birds.
Right,
So, I mean,
yeah,
I don't think they can win, no matter what they do. I don't think they could make these people happy.
yeah. When, they do use petroleum as well, I mean, they don't just think by themselves.
Right. Well, you know, they don't realize, oh, we want this guy. Well, you got a cell phone. Throw it on paper. You know, you gotta use it to make your cell phone. Just know everything you use.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the other thing, since you've been so gracious with your time to want to sit down and talk about things, I wanted to know what your experience or your thoughts are on people that have said, you know what, I want to educate myself and I learned about this company and now I feel I want to be supportive of them. What's your take on how, you know, there's not that many people, especially if you are a tribal member, what's your take on, you know, getting some heat for that, being called a sellout or, you know, the different names that happen?
I've never cared what anyone thought.
Yeah.
Anybody that knows me knows that. What I'm disappointed is that I've been in many boards that I've been in argument board members, but at the end of the meeting, we're still friends with it. You should be able to have your opinion, but after the discussion that, hey, we're still friends with it. Unfortunately, this has split families,
Yeah.
and it shouldn't. Like, just because I don't agree with you doesn't mean I'm right, doesn't mean you're right. You know, we have a discussion, but apparently their discussion is you gotta agree with me or, you know, you're right and screw you. So, you know, I'm just disappointed that over this is affecting a lot of families and divided. And it's just,
I agree. It does seem to bring out the worst in, you know, how people view each other. And again, I feel just a human right to have an opinion. And mine is based in, you know, I do value the sacredness and the teachings and the cultural aspects of being a tribal person, but I also enjoy being in modern day times too. So, you know, being able to drive our cars and feed our homes.
well, let's look at it this way, okay? They're worried about something happening. Oh, okay. How many people, vehicles, whether it's a car, snowmobile, ATV, did you see any of the waters of them that are a reservation space station? Guarantee there's oil leaks on those vehicles or gas leaks, whatever. They don't seem to be harping on that. Whether it's a drop or a gallon, it's still gonna affect. And I am so tired of saying, you know, we're protecting or hunting and fishing. You know, even if there was an accident, it's not gonna destroy the fishing or the hunting. There's other reasons why these hunting out here is bad. And it has nothing to do with the hunting. But they don't seem to want to take care of that problem.
It does feel like one of our, I would say, a talking point is things that haven't happened, all these potential things that kind of make someone that uses those as you're living in the future, you're having anxiety, and I get having safety measures and being environmentally conscious of what you're doing when you're, putting in the relocation pipeline, and if we ever have the opportunity to upgrade, those things are still gonna have to disturb. But it's just my experience being able to go to different tours and listen to the way they hire experts to be environmentally sensitive and conscious, and talk of listening and say, hey, we're within the Bad River, I'm sorry, not Bad River, but any tribal land, we want their voices to be heard. We want to respect the cultural aspects of what what is the right protocols, making sure that historical monitoring is out there, and I feel like they've done a really, really good job of doing that.
I agree with you 110%.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that, have an opportunity to get voices out there and just share their views and their opinions, whether it's pro energy, petroleum, there's all kinds of things going on. It does not necessarily have to do with pipelines, but right now it's just an issue that's in our community. And so, because there was an opportunity, the lawsuit was brought up to the company, and then it stayed in the court system. It still is, but at one point in time, there was an opportunity to have a negotiation. We've got surrounding tribes that have done that, the Ponca and
A couple of
the
them,
Kootenai.
Minnesota.
Yeah, so I'm not sure that any availability to the initial negotiation offers from the company to the tribe, but it's my understanding, beyond the settlement amount, they too want to support the tribe because they're going to be in the area. It's just kind of sad that a greater amount of financial support could have came along with that. So I'm just wondering what you thought.
Absolutely. The company didn't have to offer. People got to realize that they did not have to offer a penny. I believe they have to pay that they were $8 million for trespassing. That's it. And the dollar amounts they threw out could have helped Bad River. One of the forest was one of the top 2 forest tribes in the state. It could have gave our people, they could have invested, start businesses, buy businesses. I look at Shakopee, richest tribe in the country. Not really just because of their casino. They invest their money. Google file. They're the biggest subway franchise owner in the country. They went and realized, okay, if the casino ever goes belly up, or we can't do it. We have other investments. What do we have? People go, per cap. So if we're going to check for $1,000 to say thanks, no. I'm looking at that like for the future. My grandkids being able to go to college, get a job here. Why do our people have to leave and make a good living?
Yeah, it does make me sad that the monetary amount is not going to be, what it could have been if the pipeline stayed. There's so much infrastructure that could have been made, or improved homes, housing. There's all kinds of things.
Well, we know a couple buildings that need to be replaced.
Yeah.
Reservation, they offer $420 We want to be with you, but because it's in, I chuckle to all these municipalities or certain companies. I won't take money from Enbridge or this company that because of this. Well, you name me one company that doesn't have a skeleton. So, who are those people that are on our council to say what's good or bad? They're elected because we want them to be our voice, what we want. One person, he just decided he was going to do what he wanted. He didn't care what anybody had to say. And that's where this all started.
Mm-hmm.
And it was hush hush at the time.
Agreed. Yeah. And the beauty, I think, if there's gonna be a little blessing in disguise is, I feel like just knowing Enbridge and getting to know them over the last couple of years, that there is going to be on and beyond that settlement amount. And they do wanna stay supportive and give, community investment into the trust. Not gonna estimate what that looks like, but I feel like it is definitely gonna be beyond whatever that settlement amount is from the lawsuit itself. So,
And we're in strong communities that they offer to help them.
yeah, definitely a lot of local nonprofits in the area, the food shelves, the domestic violence, shelter in Ashland. There's just so many.
Let's use the food shelf for one instance. For the last 4 years, they have bought how many cows at the 2 local colony fairs and donated hundreds of thousands of pounds of meat.
Natural organic beef, yeah, it's amazing.
And it had to. And I was at one where I believe the person that they bid against ran it up, knowing that they were probably, everybody wanted this, so but they were doing it because they knew it was for a good cause.
Right. Yeah,
So,
the historical fish hatchery in Bayfield, all the help, the film on Edmund Fitzgerald.
Yeah. If anybody hasn't seen that, go watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, Enbridge did give a little support in making sure that film was made. I think that's
Especially when we
awesome.
had locals there.
Yeah.
2 from Ashland, 1 from Buffalo, 1 from Washburn.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, that was really, really amazing. So I think the company did do a good job in developing their IRAP, Indigenous Reconciliation Action Plan. I feel like they're doing a good job in bringing the tribal voices to the table. Not only that, offering opportunity, giving scholarships to different programs, whether it's getting into local unions to get into the trades. And the beauty part that I've seen is once they help and give that financial support to individuals, they don't hold it over them and say, hey, now that you've got certification and you're getting into the union, we need you to come and bring it back to our company. They don't even hold that over the individual, but they really give that support and opportunity. So I think that's amazing.
you said one key thing there. They have invited us to the table. Now, this is a little different than pipeline, but at one time, for years, I was on the National School District School. And me and Chairman at the time, one of the guys' signatures, we had 9 seats at the time. And I got sick and tired of hearing my voice ain't being heard from that. Or my voice wasn't being heard from other people. Or from the West End where we absorbed adoption students. So I took 3 seats after we got the signatures on that. They gave 1 seat to Van River, who was president at the time, 1 seat to Murrayville, 1 to the adoption. I said, now you're at the table. It is your job to convince people to vote, or vote the way you feel. Enbridge has given us that. They brought us to the table. Okay, tell us your concerns. We may not agree with it, but if you can convince us why you're right, we're wrong. We're going to do it, and they have done some of that. So prior to this, we weren't at the table. So if there's going to be anything that came good out of that, they brought us to the table.
Right.
How you want to take it is up to you.
I agree. There's a lot of many things, but one is developing and upgrading that IRAP, Indigenous Reconciliation Action Plan. The other, which is I think really awesome, is they are a great big international company. I don't look at them as a Canadian company because of all of headquarters being in Dallas, and they do service the United States and they employ the United States citizens and tribal.
They're paying taxes in their country.
Yeah, tribal and otherwise. So, and I just kind of smile and chuckle about it because it's one of the opposition, so to say, talking points is that it's a Canadian company. But
They are, but they're not.
They,
You look at that.
yeah. And again, I go back to them being profitable. They share, you can look and see what the profits are. But taking a lot of that profit and doing the community investment back into the local communities that their energy goes through. And what I was getting at is they have even people that have great big positions, from the top CEOs into regional and different vice presidents, and they're so personable. I don't know how many times they've come to this community and they sat around and answered questions and let people just learn. And I'm not sure I know of any other company that does that.
In my previous business, I met a lot of CEOs, vice presidents, and you could tell they thought they were important. The people that come from Enbridge, if you didn't know who they were, you just sit there and ask. I mean, just a few weeks ago, we had that CEO that we went through. And when I saw him, I couldn't believe he was I've met many of you before, but not many are like you, just personable, listening and taking the concerns, and you could tell he was listening. He wasn't just blowing us out or, making a show of it.
Yeah.
He cared about what we thought or our thoughts.
Yeah.
So, and like the other VPs that come up, same thing, except you did not know who they were. You just you think they were just average Joe up there listening to what they're saying.
Yeah, to me, it feels like it goes a long way. Some humility and not having these, great big red carpet type of event in order to shake hands with a CEO of a big company. And again, just giving the space and time to local people and listening to the concerns and sharing what's happening with the company. It just feels like they put action behind some of the things that they, so to say, promise, but it's not really a promise. It's you can see what they're
doing.
doing.
I don't recall them ever once promising anything.
Right, exactly.
So, I've heard other entities will promise to them. You would, at least I can say, I've never heard somebody, I promise to do this. They say, we want to help you, we'll try to help you, but then I say, we're guaranteed we're going to help you.
Yeah.
Which is good. You can't hold it all.
Yeah.
We're not promising something that.
And again, I thought because there's a little bit of permitting things going before a judge, and I'm not sure if the whole entire lawsuit is behind us. But the relocation is moving forward. There's some boots on the ground. It's not been halted whatsoever. So with that being said, what are your thoughts on the outcome in the near future over the progress of the workforce and the relocation project itself?
I feel now, after that administrative judge gave the okay in February, I don't foresee this ever stopping. I think they've exhausted, they can throw up lawsuits and they put a hiccup into it. Anybody's familiar with the state of Wisconsin, one of the toughest agencies in there is the DNR. And when the Wisconsin DNR gives you okay praise that this is the best written article they have ever had.
The environmental
study.
impact, yeah.
Then Enbridge did their homework, because I figured if anybody was going to deny him, that would have been the DNR, that would have been the done. So I don't think there's anything that really can stop it.
Yeah, I've heard some concerned people that, again, back to the category of opposition, there was a point in time to consider lesser of two evils, and I just feel there was so much environmental impact study done, and I was fortunate to be open-minded and listen to some of the experts that, they did do their homework, and no matter what other people want to say, I want to say that the company is actually environmentalists as well. They are concerned, they do care, and they did the safest and the most impactful way to move forward and stay involved in making sure there's not accidents, so to say.
My biggest concern, and the company that I'm working on right now, are the protesters that we know are going to come. And if there's going to be an accident, if somebody's going to get hurt, it's going to be because of the protesters. I don't believe that workers are going to fight with them that, you know. I tell my people, if they come, walk away, ignore them, they throw stuff at you, just get in the truck, leave. But if they, you know, we're not going to do that, be safe.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that Amherst has stressed, you know, is safety first. No matter what, safety, safety, safety. You see a truck on a vehicle or a piece of equipment, you shut it down. You know, get everybody there, figure out what's going on, how you know. So yeah, they're still going to do that. Just say, oh, we're going to do this when it starts. Well, it started, and they're doing what they said.
Yeah, definitely one of their standards that I think makes them a great company is definitely their safety. Again, it's a nice hot summer day. You've got your company going. You're very busy, and I just appreciate you being able to sit down, have a conversation, a safe conversation on energy. And just wanted to see if you would mind sharing and see your thoughts on one of the sacred values of our 7 teachings that you think is kind of one that is relevant with what's happening, like as the project gets started.
I would have to say, honestly, so far, what they have said, they've done. I haven't seen them say one thing and do something different. Not going to change. Yeah, just like there could be an accident or like anything can happen, but right now, I would say, you know, it's Dossie. This is going to be your. I think, you know, before early this conversation, I think I said they never promised anything. What they have at least promised us for contractors and hey, safety, you know, and they're honest about it to us, you know, they want, when we're done, that land is gonna look the same, if not better.
Yeah.
You know, they're not gonna look ripped out, probably, whatever, you know, so. Honestly, I have to say.
I appreciate your time so much, Pat, and again, the State of Voices for Energy, and I'm just happy that we can have these safe conversations. Meaningful.
Thank you.